the most epic way I've seen someone quit who knew he was going to be fired was when I worked at Trails, and this dude grabbed a gallery piece out of the display. It was like one of our most expensive pieces, loaded it up, and just ripped the fuck out of it. And I was like, damn. I hit it too, though, because I was like, well, shit, you know, whatever. I was there. You can't just witness it and, like, not hit it, because then all of a sudden he's not going to trust you. So I was like, let's get it. That shit was tight. So, yeah, he got, ended up, him getting fired, and then, like 2-3 years down the line, they ended up giving me the piece. It was tight. I still have the piece in the fucking gallery down in the shop now.
Did you have someone at high maintenance lose get something jacked? So?
Yeah, it happens every once in a while.
Does it? Very often?
No. Every so often, like, you know, like 3 times out of almost 10 years.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I think when I was there, that was like the first time in like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, did you find the one though?
No. Well, if it's streaming, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Well, it's just not with everybody.
Well, that one won't show up on Facebook.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah, so if it's going,
just redo another one. Yeah.
It's not letting me. It kept.
See, because I got one already.
Yeah. Oh wait.
And plus, the shops are like located in areas where it's pretty hard to like do that. I would say.
You think so?
Hell yeah, they're in shopping centers.
You're right.
It's like there's a laundromat next door to you. Like there's too many people there to like risk it for the biscuit. Right.
No brisket for the biscuit. Oh, okay, we're doing it like that. That's right.
Yeah.
What the hell's happening? Bro, that, you know what I mean? Someone's
Well,
taking
shit,
a
I would
risk.
rather have the other one.
Hey, me neither. That's exactly right. No experiments are good sometimes.
Well, you want to go with this one to Facebook?
No, you're good. No, you're good.
Okay.
Whoa, damn. That was crazy.
So like, what's the premise of the show?
What's up?
Like, what do you guys do for the show?
Man, honestly, it's bullshit. It's like UTI all over again.
Okay.
Yeah, like today we were talking about the Dave Chappelle episode.
Yeah.
Then we were talking about the fucking Popeyes chicken sandwich.
Have you had one?
Yeah. Unfortunately, my girl went out and got one.
So
you know
you
what
didn't
I'm
look pleased.
saying? Well, I'm not a chicken sandwich type of nigga. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So
Okay.
when I see people going crazy about chicken sandwiches, I'm just like, that's what's up.
Yeah.
No, I remember I think you were the one that introduced me to the Jack in the Box. You get the chicken sandwich and the Frank's Red Hot.
That was due to being broke.
Yeah, I know. I was there too. Because it was like 99-cent chicken
Yeah.
sandwiches.
Right. That was due to being broke.
I remember that. That was back in the days,
Yeah.
man. Roll through a drive-through at like 2:30 in the morning.
No, my
No,
spot.
back then it was 1:30.
The Burger King, the 99-cent cheeseburger. That was like what I survived on for like a whole year.
You can't find shit for that.
Yeah.
The Jumbo
that was-
Jack.
Jumbo Jack, yeah.
That's what it's called.
Yeah, I
Two
did
tacos.
what you want to do.
Yeah,
I
you
just
did.
Get the chicken sandwich and put the red hot sauce on.
Yeah, because when we lived in that Tempe spot, it was
yeah,
right around the corner from that Jack on Scottsdale Road. Yeah.
Get extra pickles. You can have them pile up all kinds of
Make a whole fucking salad out of it.
I'll make it work.
What's up, Ann? Got all quiet over there. What's your
I know.
drunken?
Sorry,
yeah,
did we take
walk-
over?
Yeah.
No, it's cool. I'm just.
So you guys were talking
listening
about
to you.
aliens.
Yeah, we were.
This is what you believe in them?
I definitely feel like there's something out there. Like there's not just us.
Yeah. I mean, we'd be pretty arrogant to think that we were the only ones out. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my.
Outer space is huge.
Yeah.
And we haven't.
How do you
even
know that?
explored.
Because it's we know.
It's proven. It's a proven fact. Thank you.
Okay.
And we have not explored that much
Alright.
because we can't travel that quick. It takes years and years for us to do it, unfortunately.
That's what they tell us. Huh?
Yeah, you're right. They're probably lying to us. We would never know.
The
We
fake
would
news.
never know.
Fake moon
They only
landing.
tell us. They only tell
There
us
it is.
what we
Exactly.
want to know.
Exactly.
We're all
Well, I-
brainwashed.
I mean, there's shit we
Illuminati.
see. Yeah, there's shit we see. How can you
dropped
like, not
it.
explain that shit? Like, you know, it's yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a
I'll tell
firm
y'all
believer.
story about
And
it.
like
Okay,
Yeah,
boom. We
let's
got
hear
a
it, let's
story.
hear it.
Let's hear it. Here we
So
go.
check this out. It's back in are we like should I put that in?
That doesn't matter.
Yeah, get a
So
picture.
back in
Well, you won't get up on the mic though, because they're
okay.
Yeah.
So while I was actually born in New Hampshire, in Portsmouth, and then I lived there for a while, moved to New York, as we talked about, right? When I was in New Hampshire, there was a lady there that they made a movie about, right? And it was called Abduction in New Hampshire, where James Earl Jones played her husband. I don't know if you remember this. They used to play it on
Sounds
TNT.
No,
Yeah.
I've never heard
They
of
used to
it.
play it on TNT all the time.
Yeah.
And so basically, I used to deliver this lady's newspaper all the time, right? When we moved back from New York, that was on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so we used to go by there and chop it up with her. And she was like a regular lady. And come to find out, I guess she was the wife of this dude. So if you guys look up this movie, it's James Earl Jones. They're like an interracial couple.
Okay.
So you had this brother and then you had this white lady. And they were both like, going to the White Mountains. or
Okay,
whatever.
nice.
They're going to the White Mountains, and next thing you know, a UFO, I guess, was following them or something. Something to the effect of a UFO was following them. Then they I don't know if they passed out or something, woke up somewhere. It was some craziness. But it was one of the rare UFO situations where they actually proved that the shit may have really happened.
Damn.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And when they made the movie about it, the lady's name was it was Betty and Barney Hill. Because by the time, they knew my grandparents, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
my grandmother moved from Jamaica out there, and then she met my grandfather. And
So
then
they were older when.
yeah, they knew everybody out there. So when I used to deliver her stuff, I think my pops had told me, because he's really in all the UFO stuff. And he was like, yo, you know that's Betty and Barney Hill. You know what I'm saying? And so
Like,
I used
what?
to chop it up with Betty, and she was older at that time, and she was telling me, she said flat out that shit really happened.
Damn.
And she gave me like all the details about it. Said like, they were driving up to the mountains and all the shit in their car turned off, but the car was still going. And then next thing you know, they said that like they just felt something on top of them, and I think they ended up getting out. It was like a long, drawn out
Wow.
story.
Was it see-through?
It what?
What the UFO
I don't
see-through?
remember if she said if it was see-through. It was like a song. This is like back in the 50s. Like 50s, 60s.
So it was black and white.
No,
Yeah.
I
The old Cadillac version. They were a little raggedy back then. It was just a straight sauce.
Stupid.
You know what I mean? It looked like a bowl from Walmart or some shit.
Well, no, because I was telling Ann a story about how I knew someone that had an experience, and
Right.
they told me about it, and it was very similar to what you're saying. They were just driving.
Everything stops.
All of a sudden they get out of their car and they see it, and it's just hovering.
Right.
And it's like, but they said it was like almost like see-through, and it was just like, and then all of a sudden it was just like fucking just gone.
Because I think that's what they're capable of doing, according to stuff that I've read. Because I'm huge on this.
Me too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think they have a way of like kind of camouflaging themselves a little bit.
I think so.
and I think that's why they think it's clear or see-through.
There you
feel
go.
me?
Yeah, right. It's just like you can tell it's there, but it's not really. Yeah.
Right.
Have you guys ever seen Chicken Little?
Nah, I've heard about it though.
The cartoon?
Yeah, I've heard about it.
You know how like the spaceship comes down and it's see-through, but you could tell it's there, but it's.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I was gonna say like that, but nobody knows what I'm talking about.
Well, I heard of Chicken
Never
Little.
mind.
It's classic.
But like even like I always wanted to like do the Area 51 shit, like way before they even
Oh,
started
So
talking
you
about
want to
this
run
shit.
with them? And
No, I've already like looked up where it's at
Yeah.
and everything. Like every time, matter of fact, last time we went to Vegas, I think I mentioned it.
Really?
Remember when this is a long time ago? But
Yeah.
I was like, yo, we should go to because it's the extraterrestrial highway is what they call it.
yeah.
And it's the freeway that takes you straight to Area
Damn.
51. And so I was like, yo, I
Do they stop you from even going on it, or do they wait till you get like almost there?
Well, I watched the documentary on it.
Okay.
The documentary had these two cats that had cameras and shit, and they got like, I think you can only get within like maybe 10, 20 miles from it.
Damn.
Yeah, because it's huge.
Yeah, it's huge, and like I think after they started getting to a certain point, they started seeing like little government things saying like you need to turn
Yeah,
around.
get
Yeah.
the fuck out of here.
And so they kept going.
Oh,
Right?
shit.
So when they kept going,
I'd do that.
yeah, they kept going, and next thing you know, you started seeing the all blacked out Suburbans
Coming
and all
up
this
and-
shit coming up.
yeah.
And they came up, but they didn't like come up and say shit to them. And then what happened was they kept going, and then that's when everybody came down and was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And so basically, it was like, man, they was armed the whole
Wow.
night. And so what they ended up doing was, I think they went back a certain distance and they camped out, and it was like a certain distance to where the government people weren't fucking with them.
Okay.
But they stayed like overnight kind of.
So they can
Yeah.
watch anything.
Yeah, I'm gonna find this documentary and
Yeah.
show it to
Yeah.
y'all. They stayed overnight, and when they were like filming, it was like kind of like a hill, but you could just see flashes over there. but it was like real brief flashes and stuff, right? So they're like, yo, we see something, but you can't really see nothing.
Yeah.
You see, look kind of like this.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, if I'm not mistaken, I think they end up waiting till the next day, because what they said was there was a particular plane that people boarded at the Las Vegas airport, and it's like an unmarked plane, and this plane goes to Area 51 every day, and then it drops off employees, and then it goes back to the Vegas airport and then drops people off.
No
And
shit.
so, yeah, and so they actually showed it. They showed it like they got footage of the actual plane and all these people walking in or whatever. So what they did was they waited till the plane to come back, and then they followed some of the people that got off the plane.
Yeah.
Damn.
Do you remember? Have you seen
No,
this?
this sounds tight
yeah.
though.
I
They
wanna watch
followed
it.
one of the cats home, right? And then so when they followed him home, they knocked on his door and was like, "Hey, you know, we saw that you this and that." And the dude was like, "I can't talk to you. Get out of here." type shit.
Damn.
Damn.
So it's official
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
You gotta let me know what this is.
yeah, I'm gonna find it.
So
I'm
there's
gonna
some
find
shit going down.
Oh,
been shit
yeah,
going down,
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
not.
if you read William Cooper, remember
Yeah,
Behold
yeah.
the Pale Horse?
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all familiar.
Yeah, I've read a little bit about it.
He breaks it down on. He shows like maps of the shit.
Yeah.
He shows
Damn.
like actual like because it used to be a big ass lake where it's at. And
Okay.
now it's a dried out lake now, and so it's like all this space. And he says the shit's built underneath. He said everybody thinks all the shit is up top.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure it's yeah.
And they probably got Area 52 by now, Area 55.
Yeah, that's true, right?
You know, that's the old shit.
You know what I'm saying?
They
Like,
just keep the facade going, you know.
Right.
So no one.
right.
Damn, you're probably right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they make it seem like it's like I almost feel like it's an airport, like it's like a little mini celestial,
Like a hangar.
airport.
Damn.
That's what I think it is.
Like for when aliens are coming to
I
visit.
think aliens
Like-
already here. And what better place for
So
them
that's
to
like
come?
Men in Black. Like
That's what I think it is, honestly. Because
Yeah.
what better place to like show up is in Vegas.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
bunch
because it's
of
like
weird
crazy ass
motherfuckers.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know though. Why would the government be protecting it so well? You know?
Well,
Because the like
Good question.
people in general, like they'll freak the fuck out, and I think that's what they're afraid of is these people are just gonna freak the fuck out if they find out that it's absolutely true.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
Because
I think it'll hurt society rather than
it disregards religion, to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
It
yeah,
breaks
I didn't
down
think
the
about
whole
that.
barrier of religion
Yeah.
when you think about the whole idea of aliens. Because
Yeah.
Yeah.
God supposed to allegedly
Yeah.
created the
Yeah.
earth in a
Shit.
few
Yeah.
days. You feel me?
Damn.
So everyone will be fucked.
I thought we were
Wow.
the only motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Damn.
That's one thing, and then another thing is I think it has to do with the actual technology.
Yeah.
They don't want people getting their hands on certain technologies. You know what I'm saying? Like if you do a lot of research on like the Bermuda Triangle, I watch mad documentaries, yo. Like, if you do one about the Bermuda Triangle and what they originally said that they think it's Atlantis is that area, right? Because Atlantis.
I never heard that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they think that area, because Atlantis, I guess, at one point sunk under
Yeah.
the water. And so they think that's where that area was. And they said before Atlantis went underwater, they said that you had all these people who connected with UFOs and all
Yeah.
that. Like it was regular over
Yeah.
there. And they said that a lot of the technology that they was getting
went
was,
down.
well, people were getting this. I don't want to sound too crazy because I'm thorough with my research. You feel me? But they said basically that certain people got a hold of certain technologies, and like you got regular civilians fucking around with super powerful things.
Damn.
And it kind of fucked with the shift. That's one of the reasons why it went under. They said.
Oh,
It's
like
because
someone fucked something up.
They
and-
said, yeah, and they said basically shit like that is the reason why they don't want to mix regular technology with regular civilian people. Because just imagine if we had a fucking ray gun. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know how many motherfuckers I would evaporate? You feel me? My baby mom would be gone.
Yeah, because there's no
You know,
tracing the bullets to the barrel or anything like
you're
that.
Done. You're done.
You just some
know what I
dust.
mean? That's it.
No body.
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah. Get out of here.
Damn.
Have you guys seen Fire in the Sky?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the one that took place up north. What was that, Payson, I think?
I think,
Or
yeah.
Was it Payson?
It was
or
like Jerome or something.
Yeah, somewhere up,
Some- yeah,
somewhere up
yeah.
north.
Sedona?
Yeah. No, it wasn't Sedona.
Throw it out there.
But but I actually there's a show that was on Netflix. It was about like ghost encounters and UFO encounters, and they interviewed those guys, and it's like you believe them because they're not weirdos. They're
all.
normal ass people. It's like why would they,
Right.
subject themselves to scrutiny
Right.
for So that's my thing.
Prescott?
Maybe
Nah,
press.
it was like I think
it
it was Jerome. I think
Was it Jerome?
might have been Jerome
gonna
Arizona.
look it
Something
up.
like that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Eager, one of the two. But yeah, it's deep when you start really getting into the whole UFO thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
crazy
I got
shit.
a lot of thoughts about all
Yeah.
that.
I mean, how can you explain some of this shit? Like, especially that we see here
Right.
in Phoenix. It's like we're like one of the hotbeds for.
I'll give you an example, right? Out of all the stuff that I ever researched, it hit me one day. I said, out of all the years that we've had human beings on this planet, right? It took up to about 1990 to get your first fucking PlayStation. Ain't that strange? How all the technology has happened within the last 100 years, if you really think about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, you feel me?
Advanced pretty quickly.
It's super quick. There was no microwaves and all that
yeah.
shit before, but you know when everything advanced afterwards was when those first crashes happened in Roswell. If you notice, around 1940 is when
That's when
everything
technology
started. All of a sudden, we got fiber
Huh.
optics and all this other
Son
bullshit.
of a bitch.
I mean, it's just something to think about.
Boom.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah, right?
it's like you trying to tell me nobody could think of fiber optics in the year,
2
10,
years
50.
before. Yeah.
They didn't have cars, but you know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
all horses and regular shit.
Yeah.
And so something had to speed up the process if you really sit back and think about it.
In the sense, like, I mean, I think the argument of where it just took, like, all these years, and then all of a sudden we're advancing, like, it's like fucking,
Crazy.
yeah, exactly. So, that's a good point.
Something to think about.
So it was in the White Mountains.
White Mountains, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Right.
No one said that.
Hey, I get my info off the internet just like you.
Exactly. Yeah, there you go. So, good job.
Yeah, my pops was deep into the UFO stuff. That's where I get my shit from. I be spooking out chicks.
It's
all
kind of
the time,
crazy to
you
think
know.
about, honestly.
I just think it's interesting as
Yeah.
hell,
And
man.
we only explored 5% of the ocean. I think that's fucking
Yeah.
crazy.
This shit down
Because
there too.
there's fucking huge ass things out there and we don't even know about it. Like when you're in the ocean, you're just like, oh, there's sharks. No, there's like other creepy ass shit in it
Like-
that we do
Plenty
not
of
know
shit.
about.
Like when they had those
that hides
tsunamis.
away from us. They see us, they're like, oh shit.
Right,
I don't
right.
want them to see,
No, it's a
'Cause
fact.
remember all the fish and everything they were finding after the big ass tsunami?
Hell yeah.
I can't think of where the hell it was, but
In India?
Oh, you do?
was it in
I
India?
think it was New Delhi, India.
Okay,
think
and
so.
the sea life that came up was like some alien ass looking
Crazy.
fish and
Yeah.
shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
This shit down.
like you could look it up and like see all this crazy
It's
ass.
crazy. I do
Yeah.
look it up. I'm like,
Yeah,
Right.
They
I
almost
thought-
look like ghostly, like monsters. Man, it's
They
crazy.
got footage of people down there. There was one where they showed actual dudes in like a submarine, and they're like, they're like just doing regular research, and you see like it looked like not a mermaid, it was like a dude kind of, and you see him kind of come up to the window and look, and then kind of
Jesus.
yo, but it was like an official like science, like I'm gonna look it up.
So it's like some
Yeah.
National
It
Geographic
was some
type
National
shit.
Geographic shit, and you see like a face come up and look at it, and then kind of, but you see it real quick.
He's like, what up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some shit down there, yo. I think
Yeah.
they just think of these random, like, oh, mermaid. Like, they just think of that. Like, what if there's really something out there like
I
that?
think that
Yeah.
they exist. I think all the stories we hear, like when you think about Star Wars, right?
Based off something.
Based off of something like,
Yeah.
who the fuck would think
Think
about that in the
some shit like
70s
that.
that there's like fucking Jabba the Hutt and
Yeah.
all, like you don't just come up with that shit out of nowhere. If you,
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Also,
saying?
when it's a lot of it's not really similar as well too. It's like, all right.
Right.
But and you're like, have you guys seen The Little Mermaid though?
You talking about the
The
cartoon?
Chicken Little.
Yeah. That shit's real though.
It might be. You never know. You never
It's
know.
clown, it's clown.
You never know. I'm
I agree,
serious.
dude. I agree.
Stories come from somewhere.
Damn right. Talking crabs. Talking crabs.
I know, always talking shit.
All right.
What about
well,
ghosts?
It's weird. I believe in all this UFO shit. I only
I
believe in
believe,
shit I
I
see.
believe in ghosts. That shit's creepy.
If I've never seen it, I don't believe it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And-
But sometimes it's not always like visible,
True.
you know?
But if my thing is, I'm not gonna be scared of it if I can't
Yeah.
see it.
Have you ever had that feeling where like you feel like something's watching you, or like someone's behind you, or like
When I walk into Walmart all the time, I get that shit all the time. Walmart or wherever, somebody's always watching my movie.
yeah, for sure.
You take it there, huh? Take it there.
That's the kind of shows.
That escalated
He's
real
like, are we
quick.
going to get into this?
You know what I'm saying? We could go there.
Oh, buddy.
I'm playing around.
He's like, I'm not worried about ghosts.
Yeah, I'm not worried about ghosts at all. It's a dude with a manager badge, you know. Loss
Yeah.
prevention.
Jesus.
Oh my god.
Like with ghosts, it might exist. Who knows? I'm not scared of them. No, like I'm not one of them people that walk around my house and look around.
Hear some
and
shit, yeah.
If I hear some shit, it's like whatever.
Yeah.
They didn't fuck with me. So
Yeah.
just stay
True
in
story.
No, I swear the house that I had in Gilbert that you lived there for a while, I swear that spot was haunted.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, because
You
when we
just
got
had that
cats.
feeling, huh?
Yeah, you feel like someone's watching. You remember how the stairs would just like go into that dark hallway upstairs? Like the cat we had would just all day long just stare up there.
Shut up.
serious?
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
I gotta check on this poker game.
All right. And then one night, like I would always hear shit, and this is when Diggs was living there, Jason was living there, and I was living there, and yeah, it was probably Diggs.
Definitely has.
No,
some
no, it
ghosts.
wasn't Diggs. Diggs never lived in that house. It was Jason, me, Jason, and Fact.
Right.
Were living there, and I remember everyone was gone. I was just laying in my room, getting ready for bed. Hear all this crazy shit, you know. I would just think it's them, and then like I know they're not home,
Right.
and like I ended up walking around with a shotgun through the house, like fucking like there's some
Right.
supernatural shit going on. I don't know what I'm doing with the shotgun, but
Right.
and then Lindsay, like when because you know she moved in there eventually, and like her clothes would disappear.
Wow.
Like it was always like she always wore black undershirts, and she would get pissed off at me thinking that I did the laundry and lost them. You know,
What'd you do with my shirt?
Yeah, yeah, and
Sorry,
it's
babe,
like-
I was wearing them.
like literally she would lose like 1 or 2 a week. Like they would just disappear.
Wow. I mean, I believe that it probably exists. You know what I'm
So
saying?
when I was younger, my nana, she had like this 2-story house, and I swear to God, there was always like a little girl at the top of the stairs. Like I saw it, and I would always like walk with my face like that.
Jeez.
And then whenever you go upstairs, you just felt something. And I was telling it to my mom one day, and she was like, "Oh, like was she wearing a white dress?" And I was like, "Yeah, like she was wearing a white dress. It was a gown." And mom was like, "It was like a white dress and a gown, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "I've seen her too." And I was like, that creeps me out because that little girl would just stare down like that. You couldn't avoid it either because the moment you open up the door, you'd see the stairs.
That's crazy.
Jesus.
Creepy as fuck.
That's crazy.
Well, here's some crazy shit too. My daughter, at the time, she was probably 4, and the house that we lived in, it was a bigger, older house, and the master bedroom had like the French doors. So we left them open, and the kids were across. There was like a little walkway upstairs, and so you could see like their rooms, the doors of their rooms. And she got scared. She came running in, was crying. I wasn't there. Lindsay, your mom was telling me about it. And she was saying that, you know, there's someone in the rooms,
Shut
you know,
up.
going in.
Right.
And you're like, oh, she's 4, she's having a nightmare, blah, blah, blah. And the
No.
bed, like, it was right next to the door. So if you're laying like this, you could see, you know, down to their rooms. And so